Right, morning truth. Welcome back to NZ Mopar Customs. So I need to have a sort out. Actually, I might even poke that over in here. I might have just a wee sort out here with this stuff. Maybe poke that concrete mix. What was the concrete mix? He must have had it somewhere else. Must have had it sitting somewhere because it was here and then it disappeared again. So it must have been at one of the other places. Problem. Where have I got to? So you want to move all this shit out of here, out of the road, get this over, get that stuff cleaned up so I can get this van in, jiggle all this shit around so I can got better use of the place. We'll probably throw that carpet just inside in the meantime. Hopefully that rubber will be here today or tomorrow. I've been expecting it for the last couple of days. I'm just not sure where it's at. The last time I seen an update on its travels, it was in Hong Kong. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't checked the updates since then. Right, so this is my mum and dad's camper van. It's a Fiat chassis. It's a Swift. I think the Jaycos in Australia are very, very similar. This is imported from the UK by another couple. I think they brought it over here from the UK for a holiday. Obviously seen it over before they got here, drove it around for a few months, did the holiday and then sold it, and that basically paid for their trip. So mum and dad had this since about 2013 or somewhere around about here. They've done about 100,000 k's, about over 60,000 miles in it. But the clear, I don't know if you look, you can see it's like almost starting to look a bit funny on here, and there's a couple of marks, and you can see they've had a sticker on here at some point. And up here, the paint's starting to peel on this edge. I can't quite work out. Yeah, so I reckon this here was all, I don't know, so I can't work out whether this is factory paint or whether these guys that do the bodies and all the make-out, whether this is like being white underneath or whether it's been factory silver and it's peeling. So I need to scuff like here, and like I'll paint this, and obviously that off, and we'll scuff up through here, and we'll just blend it. Probably what I'll do is I'll just blend it out through here somewhere and puff a little bit into here. I don't know. We'll see how far we go. We might, because it's actually peeling there too, so I might actually scuff it and just reflick the whole, well, I wouldn't say the whole thing, but we'll just flick it through here maybe. We'll see how it matches in here, because it's not very good on here either. We might just scuff some of it. So that's the front bit that we're going to fix. So there's not actually a lot of work. It's a bit of sanding and a bit of work to do on the bonnet. A little bit of, well, you're not going to worry about trying to fill, knock that. We'll just, however we look, I might better just flatten it off, and we'll just put a little bit of glaze in there, block it off a couple of times. We can get these stickers. We can order them from the UK, I think. I have to double check. I'll write down some measurements, just the size, but we did a quick Google. About 20 pounds, I think, for those stickers to replace them. So the other bit I've got to fix is down here. So these are plastic, but they're cracked. Where is it? Yeah, here. So they're cracked from being, because it's got quite an overhang. So obviously when they go onto, camper parks and obviously other different places, it doesn't take much to, if you're going in and bumping over an edge or something like that, to bash the back every now and again. Both my uncles have got, wouldn't say exactly the same model, different manufacturer, different outfit, but same sort of similar unit, if you know what I mean. I think one uncle's is a little bit longer and whatever, but they've all had issues with this, getting banged and broken and cracked. So I'm going to have to try and pull these off, I think. And then also down here, it's had a bit of damage, which Dad sprayed some primer on a few years ago and fixed it. But so yeah, we'll probably want to end up doing is probably mask it out in here somewhere and blend it. Just spray the bottom of this out, and it's obviously the same on the other side as well. So that's the worst of it. It's not a biggie, but a wee bit of work in it, if you know what I mean. So I've ordered one of those staple gun, like hot staple gun things that they got, like the zigzaggy staples that you can push into plastic to help strengthen up. I think this stuff's okay. I've got some glass and some resin and bits and pieces at home to do some fiberglass, and I'll fiberglass in the backs of those pieces, and then we'll full up also, and behind them I'll spray a heap of that black texture shit in there at the end, and then behind to stop stone damage. And so yeah, we'll spray a heap of that in behind all those bits, and down lower right at the back. Might just pull this forward a little bit further, give me another foot or so at the back. I've got plenty of room here at the front. I can go further forward, so we can spray up and behind all that stuff, just stop stones and shit from damaging it. That's what Dad wants done. So yeah, we'll whoop the bonnet off, and we'll do the repairs on that. Be easy to do it. Well, it'd probably be easy to do off. Let's pull it off, and then we'll just decide what else we're gonna blend and sand into and whatever. I don't know. We'll decide. I might just, some of the stuff we might just scuff, so when we clear the other pieces, we might be able to blow a bit of clear onto here where it doesn't look quite so, it's kind of dulled off. If you kind of look in here, it's quite shiny still, but the centerpiece has lost its luster, whereas and it's still good here again. So maybe we can mask this off, and when we spray this and clear this, we'll just give this a light scuff with a bit of I don't know, I probably can even give it a wet sand with a bit of 800 or something. Just give it a scuff, and we can flick another coat of, like, basically flow coat that, so it's a bit, just bring up a bit of extra luster. And we might even, because we're going to end up painting into, what's this side like? The side's actually all right. So we're going to go up in here. So we're going to have to be painting a bit of clear anyway into some of these pieces. You can see, like, it's weird. It's like it's almost like some bits have had like a couple of coats of clear, and then some of the other ones haven't had as much, and it's a bit duller. Like, I don't want to be painting into the doors or anything like that, but we have to flick up into here anyway. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but we want to respray this at least and fix that damage. And then, like this here, we might just, I don't know, we'll have to see what the paint matches like. That's the other thing too. So we might end up painting these bits, or paint these bits, so it's not quite so obvious that it's, hopefully it's a good match. That's why I took one of these off. Yeah, and we'll blow a bit of paint into here too. Just dust a wee bit of paint into that, and whatever. Right, so I've taken some quick measurements of these, taken some photos. You can get these online, but just get them. I just took photos and measurements so I know I get the right ones. So once they're off there, it's a bit hard to, you know, but hard to know what they were when they're all torn up. So I'll probably have to get the heat gun on there, or whether I can just sand them. I'll probably have to heat them up to get them off. Right, I'm just going to let this glaze down a little, the second little glaze there on there, because it's actually quite a deep thin. So yeah, I'm just going to knock the second lot of glaze down, give it another bit more of a rub back, and then I'm actually going to prep it and throw it over the other side away from this, and throw it away from those, but at least away from this, and just flick a bit of primer on this. I'm not really going to have to do anything else for anything else, I don't think. Hopefully we might have to just puff a little bit of primer up in here later on, but what I want to do is just want to get a coat of primer on these, or a couple of coats of primer, so we can block it out, because lots of little stone chips. I've tried to fill the worst of them. You know, obviously we need to get a wee bit of build on this so we can block it out a bit flatter and cleaner, and so we don't have to use marks from taking those stickers off. Unfortunately, my freaking heat gun worked perfectly fine the last time I used it, and I went to turn it on and it wouldn't freaking work. So I don't know whether somebody's used it and freaking, I don't know, cooked it or whatever, but yeah, it doesn't want to turn on, so I'll have to get another one at some point, because I was just going to heat the stickers up and just peel them up, but I just end up using their Scotch-Brite wheel, just freaking ripping the stickers off, and it is what it is. We just put an extra, when we do a wee bit of primer, we'll just blow a little bit extra on these areas first, and then we'll just blow a couple of quick coats over it just to get a bit of fill, and then we'll block it out, and we'll assess whether it needs another one or whatever to hide any of these other bits. It should be pretty good. It won't take too much to freaking bring it around. Alright, morning guys. So I've got the heater on. It's cold in here. I'm just trying to get a bit of heat in that panel. I was going to use my normal 2-pack primer. I didn't. I wish I fucking did. It's okay. It's just, it's this epoxy. I put 2 or 3 layers on it, just out of a rattle can. It's the Rubberlo stuff. I just thought maybe I might get away with that instead of having a lot of overspray everywhere. And I've pulled a lot of this stuff apart so I can get into get these chipped edges and stuff, so I can just flick it, dust a little bit of silver in there when I obviously doing this stuff. Obviously we're going to do a full-on mask up job around this thing. I still want to see if I can take this off, but unfortunately I forgot. I got a stupid freaking appointment thing in town because I'm on some minor income support at the moment, just until we really get rolling again. Because my money is very, very limited at the moment. So like, hopefully I'm going to have to be on it for maybe a month until we get the ballpark fully rolling, and hopefully get a few jobs and I can get a few on the table, you know what I mean? Like, I've got a few on the table, but I still just don't know when they're going to pop in. Like that 2-door Galaxy or whatever it is, the Fairlane, we're still trying to sort out floor plans. He wants to make sure that the Australian Falcon floor plans will fit. They are different, but they are very similar apparently, but we sort of make sure that they are going to work before we order some. Apparently somebody here in town's got one, and they're going to do some measuring to see whether it is going to work, and stuff like that. So yeah, and I'm just not 100% sure when we're going to get that road runner down here. I really need to just go have a look at it. He sent me some photos, but it's kind of hard to quote off some photos when you can't just walk around the whole car and have a decent gander and get a, like, photos do help, but sometimes just depends on how they're taken. You can see what's going on, but you can't get the overall concept of just exactly what else is going on with the car. You know, in case, like, when you're doing other bits and pieces, there's something else that you might have to catch or to get to blend it in, if you know what I mean. So you can work out what time's involved within reason, if you know what I mean. And have a look at things, how they come apart, or to get a bit of an idea of what all you got to do to pull it apart. Anyway, so yeah, we've got this semi stripped down. Contemplating taking that off. You know, and again, I stuck this a little bit yesterday, but I thought I'll just try the that epoxy. I just put 2 or 3 coats of epoxy on here out of that rattle can, just to see if that'll work. It is okay to put underneath base, so it's fine. But yeah, I might just have to wet sand it But yeah, I can't be here too long this morning. I'm going to be here for probably an hour or two, and I'll have to shoot home, put some slightly better clothes on, and then I've got to shoot into town. It's only fucking like half an hour, 40 minutes. Then I've got to go back out again. Pain ass, but it's just stupid shit you got to do. So yeah. And, yeah, so I'm just going to try and wet sand this, just see if it doesn't pull up. I just tried it with one of my blocks with a bit of 400 on it, just dry. But yeah, it's still pilling up with it, so I'll just do it wet with a little bit of soap in the water, and we'll just mist it on, and we'll just see if it'll sand okay. Otherwise I might just have to leave it a little bit longer. Leave it in front of that heater for a wee bit. I don't want to let that run for too long, because I don't have a lot of fuel in it. There's enough there to keep you going for a wee bit, you know, to flick it on and off, to just keep the heat up in here at a reasonable temperature, if you know what I mean. So we'll have a wee sand session and just see how we get on, and see if I can get that right, because in theory, if the day warms up a little bit and it doesn't stay too fucking cold, and I can get this masked out and whatever, if I can get this sanded, I might better get the silver on this today. I have to cover everything else up, obviously, and whatever, like a bit of frickin' around, because it's so big, plus everything else. But yeah, I might be able to get some silver and colour on this today, or maybe in the morning, if you know what I mean. Get it all prepped today and then spray it in the morning, or whatever, tomorrow sometime. Anyway, we'll deal with this. Alright, just flicked a wee bit more epoxy on there. I actually freaking thought I had another full can, but I must have mainly used that one. I thought I'd only used it a couple of times to just do a couple of small bits, but I thought I'd only use it for a couple of little pieces and then a little bit underneath that bonnet of the that corner, because I did use the same thing in there, and then put the base clear over it. I was freaking 100 round for that other one, but yeah, that one was already basically empty. So shit. So hopefully I got enough there to get this done, because there's still a couple of little marks in it. I'm just trying to avoid. I'll probably have to end up using 2-pack in the back, because when I do quite a bit of repair, but this is the only piece I've really got to repair in the front. I might have to spray a little bit on here. Once I sort of get it taped up, I can just dust a little bit of that on, then we can just flip the colour over it if I just put a light little coat. But yeah, there's a couple little marks, just very minor stuff, hardly anything in here when I took those stickers off. But there's just a little bit of a mark where that dint was, and I filled it, and whatever across the front. It's pretty good. It needs a bit more of a block, but yeah. So I was wet sanding it with 400, so next time I do it, I'll probably do it with 6, just to get a little bit fine, a little bit, hopefully no more scratches in it, if you know what I mean. If I had a bit more in the can, I probably would have given the rest of it a bit more of a coat too, but it won't matter. We're not through to steel really anywhere, I don't think. It'll be fine. Actually, when I'm in town, I might grab another couple of those anyway, and it'll be fine. Just if I had to flick a wee bit more over it. But anyway, so yeah, at some point I will suss out how this comes off. I know obviously it takes those, but I'm not sure about further down. I'll have to have a decent look. I'm hoping it'll just, there might be some screws there. That one's actually missing. Well, I don't know if it's missing, but yeah, so that'd be nice to pop off. It'd be easy to spray a bit of clear on that off, and then I'm not having to spray any of this stuff. You know, I'm not spraying well, I can mask it anyway, to be honest. Probably just as easy, but I thought I might be able to actually get this panel out of it too. The insert for the grill, if that's out of it, that'll be even easier, just to give it a wee light. We'll just give it a wee rub with some, what do you want to call it, bit of 800 or something like that, just to scuff it, and then we'll just blow another coat of clear over it. Just, maybe 1 or 2, as we do everything else, just to brighten that up. I don't think it needs painted. Looks fine to me. It's just the clears dulling off, but if I give it a half decent scuff and then put another couple of coats over top of it, I think it'll be fine. For all that it's going to, for the amount of time that Mum and Dad are ever going to have it again, if you know what I mean. It'll be fine. Like, it's going to be a good 2-pack over top, so it'll be fine. Alrighty, so when I was in town doing a couple of bits and pieces I had to do, I grabbed a couple of cans of this, which is still on epoxy, but it's a little light grey. It's slightly different. I don't know. It's slightly different thing, but same, if you know what I mean. Still on epoxy, but the other one's it might be the same. They might have just changed the packaging a little bit, maybe. But it's got a funny spray cap. It's got like a little frickin' twisty thing on the side of it, which sort of screwed me up for a start off. I actually thought that was the nozzly bit, but it was out here. I just about sprayed myself in the face. Yeah, so it's got like you can adjust the flow, I guess you would call it. So I'll just put another couple of coats on that. I haven't sanded it, but I just put another couple of coats on there with the lighter grey, and I just masked up a bit around those pieces, so I could flick a little bit on those, around those edges and stuff like that, so it could be a bit better. So anyway, I'll leave this for a while. That'll take a while to cure off properly. Hopefully now I should have enough build on there. So hopefully I should have enough build on there, especially where that dint was. I think everything else should be okay. So probably in the morning I'll come back down and we'll sand it and whatever, and we'll see how we are for the rest. Well, get that, and then I'll work it out. I need to work out how to get this off. Alrighty, so I've got this off. It's the next morning. So yeah, I'm just in the midst of trying to get this grill piece out. So it's got these clips all the way around here and along here. So I'm all out along here. That one almost like it was glued or something was on it. So I'm just trying to get these ones to break free so I can get this piece out. It'd be nice just to not have to mask anything, if you know what I mean. I'm going to just give it a wee light scuff, and then when we obviously clear coat everything, I can just blow a couple of coats of clear over it. Right, so I've got the majority of this masked up. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I'm not going to be spraying down there, so it should be okay. Only just got to dust those couple of little pieces in. I'm going to I'll throw an extra sheet up on top and just try and cover the front part of that roof. But we're covered down the sides, reasonable distance. Like I have got another one of those plastic tarps. I could split it and put it a bit further down the body, but I don't. For all I'm going to be misting on here, I think it should be okay. Hopefully. Yeah, and we're the same down this side. I just like to cover a little bit more of the roof. We're just basically one tarp to the front, up to about the middle of the skylight piece up there. So we've got to give this a final sand. Probably not far away from being sort of ready. I open up the can of silver and I just dabbed a little bit of silver on a couple of these little spots. So what I'll do is I'll get probably a little bit of 800 or even a bit of 1000 or something like that, and we'll just just give it a little bit of wet and just rub it over those pieces just to knock the little bit of excess paint off. I just wanted to colour them up before I put a couple of little chips and stuff, just the bad ones. Just put a little bit of colour in them before I spray some clear over. When we're ready. I'm imagining probably this afternoon. What time I sort of get. Wow, I'm getting close. I want to cover that, but I've also got to frig around to cover those other cars properly and shit like that, and just get this all sorted. I got to give them a quick sand, and then obviously we've got to get everything else ready. So it'll probably be this afternoon by the time I'm ready to spray. I thought, oh shit, I was going to get the missus to come down and give me a hand to cover this up, and I thought, I only really need about 3 or 4 pieces of tape to hold those side ones up. And I'll flick the front one in, and then we'll just start masking everything up like where we need to. So like, I don't think we need buckets of tape freaking anywhere else up here. It's just where we're spraying really, and it's only these couple of little edges. So now we're not painting anything else in here. It's just touch up these little edges where it had chipped away. I'll just pull it back a little bit. Yeah. I might just pull that back and just give it a wee light sand before I spray. Just give it a wee light sand. So probably what I'll do is I'll probably just, after giving a little sand and give puff a little, I'll pull probably the tape off a little bit, and we'll just give it a wee, I don't know, I might just give this a wee light rub with a bit of 1000 or something beforehand too, just so when we flick a little bit of clear over there, it'll stick to that edge. Yeah, I might do that. Right, so I'm kind of, I wouldn't say ready, but I'm close to being ready. So I've sanded that, I've sanded those, and that, I've got that prepped basically. I just knocked down a couple of little bits and pieces on that, but that's only going to get clear, so I've sort of set that aside in the meantime. And yeah, I said, oh frick, I'll just get the compressor drained and all that sort of shit, get the gun ready. I've just been covering up the cars. I want to put another couple of covers on this stuff. And I was like, oh, I'll disconnect all this and drain the system. And I went to plug this back in, and this broke off this stupid friggin' hose. So yeah, I might have to go see if I can resurrect that, or at least borrow a I'll probably shoot your dad's actually, and just borrow one of his short hoses, or shorter hoses in the meantime, and then see if we can find a fitting for that, or make up another hose. Probably actually like a proper hose like that would be better than that at some point. Just borrow a short bit of hose, because Dad's not going to be likely using it. He's got a couple of 3 hoses there. Just see what I can do to make something up, so I can use the manifold and reduce my pressure for the gun. So yeah, I'm kind of ready. I thought, shit, if I can get that sorted and get everything drained, I'd half probably mix up, get myself sorted for paint. But yeah, put this open. One-handed life. So I need to give that a decent stir and whatever. I just gave it a good shake before, just to dab a little bit of paint on those chips on that bottom thing. Like, I could respray it, but I've only got a certain amount there, and if I ever happen to have a screw up or a stuff up or something doesn't look right on that bonnet, which is the main piece I'm repainting, I'd rather have some left over. If I have to give it a scuff and then give it and reshoot it, another coat on there or something like that before clear, if something doesn't look right or whatever. Because we've done, we've But if I happen to spray something on there when it's wet and it's dry and I can see that something doesn't look right, I can just stop, because it's not, the base coat's not 2-pack, so I can stop, let it sit, you know, give it another sand out, maybe give it another quick prime, and then do it again, if you know what I mean. So it doesn't matter if I happen to mix some and then I have to sit it, let it sit for, well, you know what I mean. It's not quite so critical, because it's not going to go off. So it's just a clear, it's, you know, 2-pack. Bugger, I forgot to turn the camera on. I thought I was recording. I've got the silver on, so just as that flashes, I'm going to mix up some clear. I used bugger all that. I mixed up about half of what was in that can, but it's just straight paint and reducer, so I could just tip what I didn't use back in. I probably used, I don't know, 2/3 of what I mixed to paint that. I think I put about 4 coats on the bonnet, which probably didn't need that much, but I just put an extra one on there just to puff around the edges a little extra, and then to put another one over top. So yeah, I've got everything out laid out now. All I do is mix up some clear and go from there. Right, just do a quick walk around. There's a little bit of shit in it, but yeah, it's nothing we can't give a wee rub and a wee polish if we have to. Looks pretty good to me. So we'll come back down here in a few hours and we'll demask the front. And we'll just see how everything looks together. You know, we probably won't touch this, but we'll just demask around the paint and shit. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. Wish there was a little bit less crap in it, but you know, that is what it is. Like I said, we can give it we can leave it harden up while we're doing around the back and give it a quick wee rub back with some 1500 or something like that, and just give it a quick wee buff. You know, we can clean all the other stuff up and give it a wee buff at the same time too. Righty, morning. So, finally, windscreen rubber is here. So, I'm still waiting on the electric, what do you want to call it, plastic wire stapler thing. I checked on the status on that last night, so it was picked up yesterday. Unfortunately, I thought it might have went a bit quicker than that. But sometimes I guess some of these places, by the time they get the orders sorted out, you know, it might take 8 hours to fucking get shit sorted in a big warehouse, I guess. So yeah, it was picked up late yesterday, and I'm hoping it could be here today if it was on air freight. I don't know. It was resorted at basically midnight or just after midnight this morning, so it's a possibility it may have made it onto air freight and be down here today, but I would think it's going to be here tomorrow. So anyway, so I've got to go get some more diesel for the heater shortly, but what I want to do is just demaster this car or the van, and then yeah, that's way better. Like obviously I haven't wet sanded or given a wee buff or anything, but before it was very dull, and you know, like by the time we give this a clean and a buff, and whatever, you know, give that a nice wee, just probably even just a wax or cut or whatever, and then obviously denib this and whatever. That'll be nice. It'll be way better than it was. And obviously, the stuff's good. You know, by the time we give this a wee wet sand and whatever, a wee bit much more. But yeah, by the time we give this a wee wet sand, just around there, it's a wee bit of 1500 or whatever, and then we'll just give it a buff. Like, you're not going to notice that too much. You're not going to be staring at it. It's not something, you know, you're fucking getting in and staring at. It's a little edge. This will be the same. Yeah, we'll give it a clean up and whatever, and a quick buff. Like, we haven't got any paint in here, but we've blew in a little bit clear out to here, so you can just see a little bit of the edge. But we'll give that a wee wet sand and whatever, and a buff. You know, there's going to be a couple of little spots where it's a little noticeable, but there's not much you can do about it. You know, I could have resprayed the whole panel, I guess, but you know, then you end up respraying the whole fucking thing. But you're right. By the time we give that a buff and a wet sand and whatever, fucking, it's not going to stick out a million fucking miles or anything. By the time you get it all back together, it'll be fine. So that's cool. So I've actually got a couple of fucking bolts that I had on the front piece when I was mucking around with that when I went to pull it off, it fucking fell down. So let's get back up here. But I got to get out and down underneath eventually. I've still got to go get diesel for the heater. But yeah, I need to just see if I can get that couple of bolts or whatever fell down there. I've got to see if I can get them out at some point. But yeah, really probably what I need to do now is pull this thing forward, because it'd just be nice to have some better light down here. It's dark, and there's not much room there out there to turn it around. Just being something this big, but I need to get these panels off. Yeah, I'm just trying to decide whether I try and turn it around or whatever, or whether I just maybe even work with the door open. The sun is starting to come out today. Yeah, I'll just do it with the door open, I guess. And so we can get these back pieces off, these bottom pieces, so I can repair them and whatever, and just start working on this back section. Right, so I got both off. Unfortunately, the plastic tab things that they had glued on the inside of these things, obviously to help hold them on in place. I broke them off, trying to get them off. I should be, I've got, it's not panel bond, but it's the stuff I used in the bond on that. I should be actually, once I clean this all up properly, hopefully I'll better glue them back on and they will hold. Like they've riveted them on there, but yeah, it's unfortunately just with trying to twist it off and trying to cut shit away, it broke them off. And I found out that those little metal pieces just hook on some hooks there, so I can glue them back on there. And I'll use the same stuff, and that'll bond them to the knife together. No wonder they freaking didn't stick. They freaking, you know, it's just a bit of stainless, and it's, I don't know, like it really needs a decent rough up to get that to stick. So we'll fix that too. I just want to go home. I've got some fiberglass matting and resin and stuff. I need to have a decent look at it to see. It's fairly old, but I'll have a look, see what it's like, see what the conditions the stuff's in. It's been sitting in a drawer for a long time. I've used it in other stuff over the years. So I'll go and grab that. And I've also got some lycra that I used for fiberglassing before as well. So I might grab the roll of that too, like it's purpley pinky colour. But it might be alright once we sort of get this fixed, repaired, get all these cracks and shit repaired. This one's not as bad as the other. But once we get that sort of all repaired on the inside, and get a bit of matting in there, I might lay some of that in there too, because it's kind of works like fiberglass as well. So we get a very good rough up. Obviously, when we get it clean and everything, we might better lay some of that in there too, and maybe lay it over these bits, but obviously not into here, obviously, because that's where it fits, so it slips over there. Those bottom pieces are aluminum or aluminium. It's a shame they didn't make it so, like, you know, that there was a frickin', I don't know, something in there with a couple of bolts welded onto it or something like that, like a stainless strip, and it was glued into there, and then it was just had a couple of fucking bolts through it. I mean, damn sight easy to get on and off. You know, and have a clip in there and maybe even 2 or 3 screws underneath, you know, and then just put a wee bit of seam sealer around it like they did, because that didn't really hold a lot. I think it's more just to stop water and shit or dirt getting back out, but in some ways it would have been better off with just, I don't know, this is just my thoughts, in some ways it would have been better off without that shit, and just some decent mountings on those things, you know, whether it was glassed in or whatever, you know, it might have made them a little heavier, but it would have been one of those things you could have got underneath the undone 2 or 3 screws or bolts, heads or whatever, you know what I mean? Obviously depending on what country you're in, like some countries you won't get away because they've got that fucking salt and brine and shit they put on the roads, but here it's fine. You know, you could do a couple of bolts down the edge, like you could even frickin', you know, had a cut in that so you could get up to that top, you know, have one up the top, so you could have 2 or 3 plus a couple of mounting screws and whatever, and I don't know, you probably even could have done, I don't know whether you can get right up into there, I have to have a look, but yeah, you probably could even had something through here, you know, where you could have a long bolt and a nut right up into the back of that. I don't know, that probably actually goes into the back of this, into here. So you into there, you know, you could even had one that you could have accessed from in here, if you know what I mean, through that back piece. But that's where they put the fresh water in. But yeah, you know, like it could have been done a lot easier, you know, and better mounting. So at least if it did get damaged, it's, you know, I don't know, say 5 or 6 bolts and a couple of screws, pull it off, you know, repair it, put it back on again, instead of having it all fucking glued on and muck around with it. Like, I can understand, but like even these holes here, they're in a kind of a position because this light's actually up here. So like this here, to even get into there, you can't actually, well, you could probably, like if you had a really skinny arm, like I struggled. I couldn't get up into that light, but maybe something smaller, but like this here, because where it is, like because that's the chassis or whatever it is, the main structure, you can't even get up into that light, so very easy. It's like down here, if you know what I mean. But anyway, we'll go see if we can get this glass stuff out. She's got to be get it this morning, and yeah, we'll deal to some stuff.